We live in a society, and society has rules.
I'm the Joker, baby.
And when those rules get broken, people write about you on Reddit.
Your workers are there to, further your objectives, your intentions, your KPIs, right?
We'll explore the social necessities of the workplace and figure out what makes someone a nuisance so that you can avoid them when you start your career.
But I guarantee there'll be at least one person that don't wash their feet and it stinks and everybody has to smell it.
Welcome to B1 Court. Case 1. Am I the asshole for taking the office microwave? Over a year ago, the microwave at my office died. The company refused to replace it. They said we could use the money we earned for prizes to go towards that. I wasn't having that. At the time I went out and spent about $60 on a microwave. Initially I kept it at my desk, but everyone kept coming to use it, so I moved it to the office kitchen. Anyway, my wife and I bought a new house recently and it needs a microwave. Our new home is close enough to the office that I can commute home during lunch. So I took my microwave home. Generally speaking, I close the office and I'm the last one here. I took it home when nobody else was here without saying a word. A lot of my peers were furious that I stole my own microwave. Even the company owner and my manager are upset, saying I snuck it out at the end of the day, or that if I bought it for the office, it should stay there. That was never my intention. I never communicated it, but I always meant to take my microwave home with me. It's not like $60 is a lot of money, but it's not an inconsequential amount. I don't see why they can't all chip in a bit and buy one that way. $5 each or something. I said that, and again, more angry reaction. The screwy thing is my wife is even on their side, saying most people see it as company property and it's been there so long we should let it go and we should get another one. I'm not willing to budge here. It feels foolish that I should donate my personal property because people expect me to. Am I the asshole?
What do you reckon?
The answer's obvious here.
Yeah?
The person is not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Maybe the fact that he took it wasn't wrong by itself, but maybe the way he did it, right? He didn't tell anybody that he wasn't going to take it. People maybe came in the next day expecting the microwave and now it's gone, so they can't eat their lunch, or at least they have to eat their lunch cold.
Okay. But on the other hand, it's his, right?
It is
It's
his,
like,
yeah.
in what case, let's say, do you say to yourself, oh, I'm going to borrow this for myself,
Uh-huh.
right? It's yours at the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
right? And I think in this, it reflects a kind of fundamental kind of axiom of life almost,
Right.
right? It's that, like, people take, acts of kindness, acts of gratitude a lot of times for granted, right?
Yeah.
There's an assumption that, because you've done it once, you'll always do it, right? And with this microwave, it's exactly that, right? They used his microwave, and then gradually over time,
Yeah.
it became a norm, right? It's expected that the microwave was to be there. But then, by the way, guys, it's still his microwave.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest issue here is the wife, man.
The wife?
The wife. It's like, bro, it's like the company is against your husband, right? And it's like, why are you criticizing him to buy another microwave? It's like, it's your microwave, right?
Stuff like this. It's a social contract. It's not written in a rule anywhere. There's a series of expectations that you have towards each other. And I feel like in this particular case, right, I think he should have mentioned something. Don't you think so? Like, imagine for a second, you are going to a party, right? And you drive a friend there with you in your car. And then you decide to leave a little bit early, but you don't tell your friend that you're gonna leave early, so you leave early. And your friend gets mad and say, oh, why didn't you tell me that you were gonna leave early? Now I don't have a ride, I'm stuck at the party, what's going on? And the friend says, well, it's my car, so I can do whatever I want with it. I think in that case, right, it is his car. He does have the right to leave whenever he wants to, but I think he should have let the friend know. And I think this is like a similar situation. What do you think?
It's like, okay, yeah, you're doing someone a favor, right?
Yeah.
And it can cause them inconvenience when you don't let them know, as in this case, or
Yeah.
in the case of bringing a friend home. The first act of doing that thing is already an act of kindness.
Yeah.
You can't expect it to always carry on and on. That makes no sense.
Fair enough.
And okay, sure, he maybe he should have communicated it with everyone else. Maybe he could have told his managers about it. But why doesn't the manager just buy a microwave in the first place? It's company stuff.
Company stuff.
Your workers are there to, further your objectives, your intentions, your KPIs, right? So then why can't you buy them a microwave? Why are you making the employee who's working for you buy the microwave and then basically shaming him when he takes it home. It's just my thoughts.
No, I agree. I think isolating what he did and what the company did, I think the company definitely should have provided. And the fact that they didn't, I think it speaks volumes to the work environment. Am I saying it's wrong on principle? I think I agree with you. I think on principle, the guy did not do anything wrong. But I think when you're in a situation, when you're in a social situation, right, where you're operating out in society, I think you don't owe it to people, but you should still say it, I think, to maintain a cohesive social interaction between people. Because I think after this incident, I feel like, the office environment, the atmosphere is a little bit awkward, It's not fair, but I think it's just one of those things, it's life.
But at the end of the day, if that's kind of how you all will be treated in your office, right, is that really a place that you want to continually work at, right? Because obviously when we think about jobs, we're thinking about the actual work we're doing,
Yeah.
right? But in conjunction with that is the cultural aspect of it, and culture plays a big part in deciding where to work.
Yeah.
There are many cases in which people may take less pay to work at a place which is renowned for their culture. I'm not going to name drop any companies because it sounds like a sponsorship, but that's generally a case, right?
Right.
And if this incident provides a little microcosm into the grander culture that is, not calling the boss a cheapskate, but low-key kind of is a cheapskate, right? And that's kind of the culture that's being fostered. And personally, I wouldn't want to work there, right? The boss could have communicated with me, the boss could have reimbursed me, right? Those are all valid things to do. And that could have reduced the animosity with his co-workers as well, right? Because, the job of the boss, other than, managing the work, is managing the people, managing relations. And I don't think it's adequately done here, right?
Yeah.
So the boss is the asshole.
Fair enough.
Case 2. Am I the arsehole for making a rule that people have to take off their shoes at the office? Part of my job involves hearing complaints and making strategies to address them. One big complaint that has come up very frequently is when co-workers leave their dirty boots and outdoor shoes on while they walk on our communal floors. People usually keep their shoes on, except when at their desk. Even though we hire a cleaning staff, the floors quickly become gross with mud, muck, snow and rain. I created a survey and people voted for an indoor shoe-only system. This meant they would leave their dirty boots and shoes at the entryway and change into work shoes or even just keep their socks on. The issue is that the people who choose to wear work shoes usually leave their shoes on all day until they go home. This means if they go outside for any reason, such as lunch, their work shoes become disgusting and the problem continues. People asked me to be stricter with the rule, but I was reluctant. From the survey, I knew certain people were against the change, mostly the office dandies who wear fancy footwear, including Adam, who is the 23-year-old son of one of the higher-ups. After considerable pressure, I got approval for a new rule banning most shoes from the office. Basically, any shoe with a hard bottom. Sneakers, boots, dress shoes, flats, or heels. Slippers, stockings, and certain sandals were allowed. While this rule got a lot of praise and people were showing off their cool socks and said they were much comfier in the slippers, a vocal minority led by Adam has put up a huge fuss about this rule, saying it's unsanitary and prohibitive. Even though I got approval for the rule, everyone knows it's my idea. And this vocal minority are blaming me and leaving their stinky shoes at the foot of my desk when they come in. One morning, I arrived to find that Adam had bought a new shoe rack and put it right by where I sit. I don't think I'm the asshole because I'm trying to find what's best for everyone. But they think I'm the asshole for not allowing people to wear what they want at the workplace. Am I the asshole?
Ooh. This one's complicated in
Yeah.
my opinion. She did a survey and most people agreed. And so in that sense, perhaps it is appropriate, right? Because that's, the convention that everyone's happy with. Taking off your shoe, it's not a big deal for them, right? And so, it's started its own new culture as well, like socks. I'd love to show off my socks at work, right? But if I had to give a verdict, I think she's not the arsehole.
Not the asshole.
Not the arsehole. I think the views of the masses ultimately outweigh the vocal minority, Adam. Sorry, Adam.
Have you ever heard about the tyranny of the masses?
No, elaborate.
So,
for me.
tyranny of the masses is a situation where the majority imposes a rule on society or community to the detriment to the minority, right? Now, this is about feet. right? So I don't know about it.
It's not impressive.
But it's the office, right? Sometimes it's a hassle to take things on and off when you're going out to lunch, and you know, sometimes maybe it's the same way you want to show off your socks. Maybe some people want to show off their shoes, and I think mandating that, I think across the entire office doesn't sit quite right with me.
I think if we're using, the tyranny of the masses, I don't think it's very impressive as a whole, right? It's like, you just take off your shoes, right? I'll add 5-10 seconds to your day, maybe. And you can still show off your shoes, right? When you go out and be like, oh, look at my shoes.
Yeah. In a perfect world, if nobody's feet stinks, then I think, okay, fine, I can get by this rule. But I guarantee there'll be at least one person that don't wash their feet, and it stinks, and everybody has to smell it.
I can understand why potentially people may feel uncomfortable with, this sentiment of, just having your feet exposed, right? By the way, there's still socks on, right? And people can wear office slippers, right? They can buy their own office slippers, right?
That's true.
Okay, I guess you're, coming up with more solutions to work out, a problem that probably doesn't have to exist in the first place. But there's a lot of workarounds to Adam's problems, right? And I think what's lacking in this whole situation is that dialogue in the first place with Adam, right? The survey did gauge people's opinions, but it doesn't hear them out from where they come from, their background, and why they're against it, right? I don't know about the exact survey and what was asked, but that dialogue is always necessary with any decision-making process. You need to engage and understand before you can make a rule that is quite radical in nature. But I think once you engage in dialogue and you understand where people are coming from, it's easier to make those decisions, right?
Fair enough.
And the decisions can then be supported.
True.
And then this is when I think Adam's approach failed, putting that shoe rack in front of this person, right? It's if he reached out and had that mature conversation, the situation could be alleviated. You understand where he's coming from, right? It's no longer he's against me as a person, because a lot of times people have a hard time separating yourself and the idea that you're proposing, right? It's you understand Adam and Adam understands you. You can work together to perhaps find a collaborative solution at the end of the day.
Did you agree with the verdicts? Let us know down in the comments, and stay tuned for more B1 Court.